That's what we on.
What he said.
All day.
Let's get it. Dumb, naked, and broke.
Dumb, naked, and broke.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
I think just the camera on the camera on us is fine. Last Black History Month. This is a young man that goes by the name of Andre.
Oh man. Oh man.
Oh man. Not again.
Oh man.
Nah, bro, but Black History Month.
Right
If
before
I'm not
COVID.
mistaken, probably earlier this year or last year, right?
Uh-huh.
You put out a quote that stuck with me, and I took a screenshot of your story, and I want to talk to you about it.
Bet. I forgot what it was.
Yeah. I know you do. I know you do. So here goes the quote. In my own lane, ain't no need to compete. So how somebody gonna be better at me, just being me?
Oh.
I'm gonna repeat that.
Oh.
In my own lane, what'd I say? Damn, dude, yellow text on blue background. You fucking with me.
Oh man.
Let's get it.
In my own lane. So
I'm in my own lane. Ain't no need to compete. Ain't no need to compete. I think people understand what that means.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in your own lane, how is somebody gonna be better at me at just being me? I like this.
That's classic.
I like this because a couple things jump at me. One, you gotta first find your own lane and get to it. But once you're in your own lane, understanding that you've created something that's you, that's unique to you,
Definitely.
that any like outside external forces can really compete with, because there is no competition if it's just you.
True.
Am I too far? So with that, I also gravitate towards it because you stress on the fact of just being you.
Right.
And I think as simple as that sound, that is one of the most complex things to do
Right.
and to be in the modern age.
Very true.
Just because, a lot of, whether it's ads or, personal or business or everything is jumping at you.
Yep.
So a lot of people, even with education, have forgotten how to, get in touch with who they are, their real self.
Very true.
So that's why I like the quote so much, and I took a screenshot of it when you had it up on your story. Let's actually see how long ago that was. February 13th,
Dang.
2020.
That's a
So over
long
a year.
time ago.
Yeah. So I'm good like that, bro.
I see you,
I'm good
bro.
like that.
I don't even have that quote number. I don't even have it.
But yeah, just tell me what this means, bro.
Definitely. So, so that quote I actually came from when I used to be really heavy into music. So when I was in college, I used to record a lot. I used to write down because I used to think that I was going to be some famous rapper, entertainer, or something like that.
Bro, it still can happen, dog.
It still can happen.
Still can happen.
Right. So
That's the thing, though. No age on entertainment, especially
that's true.
with music.
That's very true.
It's
very
not.
true.
It's not sports.
Very true. And my content back then was very much geared towards being mature and finding yourself. So that line is, I'm in my own lane, so it ain't no need to compete, because how somebody gonna be better than me at just being me. And it came from this song I wrote when I was in California. And at the time, I was finding myself. And I remember on a previous podcast episode, I said that a lot of times it's very difficult for you to figure out or understand what your passion is if you don't spend time alone, if you're surrounded by a bunch of people. Because if you're lost, or if you have yet to take that deep dive into your career or what you love and yourself, a lot of times you're hanging around a bunch of people who think they know what to do or what they want to do. So they'll go out, they'll do this, or they're putting their energy and time into this. And you're like, I'm going to do the same thing. Like, because it's comfortable.
Definitely.
And all I had was time when I was in California. I was very much alone.
Yep.
All I had was my studies and my work. So I had to really put myself into that. And when I realized, like, I'm really in a school where everybody's doing the same thing, yet everybody's style, everybody's technique, everybody's brushstroke is very much unique to their own self. So it's like we can go in the classroom and I could feel inferior because I see somebody and what they did, but at the same time it's like I could never do what they do. Vice versa, they can never do what I do in the style and way that I'm doing it. We could literally look at the same subject matter. And I remember watching this little short documentary clip of all of these. It was probably like 5 Disney animators, and they all went out to some secluded like place with a bunch of green grass and trees, and they all looked at a different vantage point of the same tree, and they all painted it. And at the end, they all went around and they were able to look at each other's work, and nobody's work was the same. Everybody's approach was very much different. And I just go back to that video because it's like, we have to understand our own uniqueness, our own power. We don't even stride the same. We all walk different, you know. And it's just like, I'll put it this way: you have your human body,
right?
You'll never, and every part is different and unique. Even your left hand from your right hand. But I'll never look at my right hand. My right hand will never look at my leg and say, I want to be like you. Every part of my body has its own purpose and its
own function,
and I need every single one just as much as I need the other. So it's just, we have to understand how powerful we are within ourselves. And like you said, in this day and age, it's hard to see that because we're always in a compete mode. We see one person do something, we got to do that too, or we have to do it better. And it's just like, at 23, I'm just experiencing things that I thought I should have been experiencing at 18, but I wasn't even equipped at the time to handle it at 18 mentally.
Definitely.
I'm in my own lane. I'm doing my own thing. I'm very much unique. There's no need to compete because when I do another painting, when I do another graphic design, when I illustrate another children's book, when I do all of these things, my stats only add up to the stats that I was able to do the day before, last year, a month ago. It doesn't compare to anybody else's. So I have to look at how hard I'm pushing myself, and I have to try to achieve to go harder than that next time. So I'm in my own lane. There's no need to compete because how somebody gonna be better than me at just being me. I just want to be myself. That's all.
Exactly, and that's the beauty of that. It's like, once you're in your own lane, it's just being you. It's the least you could do.
True.
And you know, like you said, ain't nobody gonna be better at being you.
Very true.
You also said something about, you know, speaking to the power that's within you. I got an art piece on the wall over there, and it says, "No one is you, and that is your power." It's one of my favorite pieces on the wall.
That's fine.
You know, just because of mentally where it puts you, how you are able to understand things. And it's funny because it kind of sounded when you were speaking like you just read it right off the wall. But yeah, you know, that's just kind of one of them things where, you know, but there's so much with the quote. I feel like there's like you were saying, the work you did in Cali.
Yeah.
That was, you know, not knowing this is from a song, that was, you know, pre-song, and then you have post-song. So it's like, where were you before this happened? And after this, how did you grow moving forward? And, you know, for me, looking at February 13th, you know, 2020, you know, there's a lot of things I could point out to show growth.
Definitely.
So for me, just watching from afar, but not, you know, too far. It's like, it's nice to see because you keep me on my toes as well.
Oh, thank you, bro. Vice versa.
Doing his thing.
Vice versa.
I can't slip up. I know Rose is always slipping up, but
oh my God, that's why we need a camera on Rose.
Where is Rose?
We're supposed to get that.
You're supposed to be here with us. He's not here. Nah, but for real, you know, it's just having people in your circle that are always, you know, improving themselves. It's such you know, it's a contagious thing.
Definitely.
But at the same time, it's also a competitive thing. Where it's not like you're, you know, like sports competitiveness, but it's more of a personal and internal competitiveness. Like you said, your next piece, you're always trying to one up yourself.
Exactly.
Because, you know, it's just you and you. But yeah, that's why, you know, I like this quote so much. And, you know, I think hopefully people understand a lot more of, you know,
definitely
what it means.
That's definite, bro. And vice versa, bro. Definitely, it's just super awesome. I remember we saw each other in a grocery store a couple months ago, just off the fly.
Yo, we were talking for like 40 minutes.
40 minutes in one aisle, just sitting there. And even when we got on the phone after that, and we were just talking, and you kind of like went through the whole year, like after COVID hit, because I remember we were about to
crazy, dog.
We was about to go record, all of us, and you was like, nah, I don't know this new COVID thing they talking about. It was real new. Like we like, okay, like we didn't know it was gonna be as huge as it was.
Because I had known about the COVID thing. I had been on it since October. Yeah, because my one of my buddy from college, his like parents were super crazy about it, so they sat him down way early and told him about it. And we was out there visiting him, and he just gave us the rundown when I was out. So we basically knew what was happening before it got to the U.S. And, well, it's probably in the U.S., but before, you know, it was, like, confirmed it was out here. And then when it got to Philly, I was like, nah, it was over. Park the bus.
I was definitely about to hop on the L, go right direct Philly. We was about to get it popping, but
I mean, I don't even like riding the L on a regular day. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
Me neither. But we spoke after I saw you, and you kind of went through this whole recap of like the year, like after that happened, and how you were coming out of the old studio that you were in, and you were like doing a lot. Like it was very. It was an inspirational story because there was a lot of pain in it. Like it was, and from that pain was a lot of growth. And I just was very like humbled to hear like how close you were, like how low you were, like you were, not the exposing. Like,
I mean, I could speak more on it, not like
definitely.
like giving a lot of details, but just like financially, we had hit a low bar. That wasn't just because of where the year was with moving out of the studio, making sure everything was paid. I got fucking personal expenses as well on top of that. So that shit was was adding up. But the beauty of that was, so like going into the studio is always like from the outside always looks as if it's just testing it out and seeing what sticks. But the beauty of the studio was opening the studio. I already knew the business stats of once you open a business in the U.S.
Yeah.
So the business stat is that 97% or to 99% of businesses are gonna fail in the first year.
Yep.
That was my year one.
Yeah.
I was part of the 99.
Yep.
But we bounced back. So I knew that going in.
Yeah.
And so that entire year, the work was still work. I worked with a lot of dope people, did a lot of dope projects.
Yep.
But in the back of my mind was always, how to make it out of year one.
Yeah.
So it was mostly that thought that kept me looking back on it. That thought put me in a mindset of not thriving.
Yeah.
Like a scarcity mindset.
Yep.
But then also not knowing how the business and all of that worked. That was also, a lot of legwork that pulled me away from doing design.
Very true.
But at the end of the year, with COVID coming up and my financial situation being what it was, on my end, I didn't want to, close the studio. But on my end, after it happened, I was like, it was a smart decision because the way COVID played out, and I was able to, kind of take that year and get some experience elsewhere.
Right.
With, at a professional studio where a lot of the things that I was struggling to get, to get to and break down were already laid out for me.
True.
And so I understood the formula. So coming out of that year, 2020, 2020, I want to say February or March. So the story Dre's talking about, I think end of February 2020. It's funny because I took the screenshot.
Around that time.
Same time. Funny. So either February or beginning of March, at one point I had negative $25 in my bank account. And it's what Dre is talking about.
Talk about it, bro.
But there was an upside to that story. At the end of the year, I had 30 in the savings. So, and we reinvested it in the studio. But it's a progress thing. But for me, like you said, it's more of the mindset.
Exactly.
And for me, what I took away from that is, like, I don't know if you know this quote by Nipsey Hussle. He said, if you're going to do anything in success or whatever, you got to go through every emotion. You got to know what that feels like.
True.
And so for me, I went through that, and I know what it feels like, and I don't want to have that feeling no more.
Right.
So that's why I go even more harder than I did, 2 years ago.
Right.
And next year, I'm going to go harder than I'm going this year.
Got to.
And we're going to build on that. But
definitely.
That was a valuable lesson because I had some money coming to me, but it was that moment was not a moment as a a person who has a business and has other things. I was like, oh snap,
right?
It was a reality check moment. But then again, I'm gonna credit the friends that I keep around because those were the people I reached out to.
Definitely,
those were the people that even whether it was through conversation or whatever it was, were the people that were able to either inspire me or keep me on my toes, keep me locked in.
Definitely.
And I have friends that I talk to in different states that just who've been rocking with me since like freshman year type stuff. And so like they don't know where the work is going, but they know where the work is coming from.
Right.
So that's the most important part.
Exactly.
And they're always going to bet on what's already done.
True. Very true, bro.
So yeah, that was to sum up. That was how that story went. But we out here now.
Bro, out here now, and it's just crazy because like it gives me chills. Like
Bro, honestly, I reflected on that story once, and then I told it to you.
Yeah.
I don't really think about it as much because for me, when I think about shit, it's either I'm gonna break it down,
Right.
or I'm gonna go into a loop where like it becomes chaotic.
Yeah.
And for that story, for me, I like the emotion that comes with it, where like I feel a certain way,
Right.
and I'm like, okay, I don't want that feeling no more,
Right.
You know, so like because of that, I put in multiple, checkpoints and multiple roadblocks where I'm like, okay, dude, you could slack until you get to this point,
Right.
You know, it's the same thing. It's
Right.
like you just got to go through it to know how. Okay, if this was a 9 to 5,
Yeah.
I can't slack off because I have a supervisor.
Right.
So it's the same. It's
Same
the same
premise.
approach.
Yep.
So it's like, okay, dude, one, you don't have a supervisor, you don't have a project manager, you don't have a secretary, you don't have an intern.
Yep.
So you're gonna have to wear all them hats when the time is needed.
Yep.
There's no more procrastinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the biggest thing is procrastinating. But also, one last thing, very important that I learned my first year owning the studio was once you get a prospective client, y'all talking numbers via verbal or email, make sure you lock in that number. Don't base or plan shit based on money that's coming to you. Always have that shit locked in before you spend it.
True.
That was the biggest thing for me because I go in months and months. I'm like, this month I'm working here, this month I'm here.
Right.
And I had like 4 months scheduled.
Yeah.
And all of them projects fell through at the end of the year, and I had to foot all of my bill for the last 4 years, 4 months.
Right.
And that was taxing.
Really? I could only imagine.
Yeah, that was what got me, and I was like, yeah. But that was the biggest lesson is always lock in the paper.
Yeah.
So right now I don't even trip like. I be going to jobs in Scranton, and I'm like, get my money right.
Before I even touch
that's
down.
a 2-hour drive.
Before I even hit the city.
No, before I start my car. Like, that's not a joke, bro.
Oh, no, I feel you, bro. I feel you. I definitely feel you.
That's not a joke, bro. But even now, like I said, just that growth.
Yeah.
It brought so much because now I'm talking like, percentages. I'm talking royalties. I'm talking a lot of stuff that I wouldn't normally talk.
Right.
Like a normal artist would you do work and send it to the client.
That's it.
But now, I'm talking, reproduction right, publication rights,
Yep.
ownership rights, royalties,
Yep.
past, whatever time frame, and all of that, and then owning the original files,
As you should.
If the client wants it, the right way to go about having that. So all of that, it's all locked in now. But again, next year is going to be even crazier. But, like I said, it's that, like you what is it? You take, 2 steps or 3 steps backwards to take 5 forward.
It's 5 forward.
That's how we plan. But as far as the paper, get my shit right. That's where I'm looking at you.
I feel you, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just something about that, and people got to respect the resume.
Oh,
the resume not light,
bro. The resume.
Come on, the resume is not light.
2020.
Come on.
We did
resume not
light. It's not light.
So they can't even question the number at this point,
bro. Honestly, dog.
That's a whole podcast episode within itself.
I'm gonna tell you some stuff, dog. Honestly, right now, so like a couple years ago, it was I had a price, and I'm like, people gonna fuck with me because it's my price,
right?
And you got people who's like, yeah, this is your price. I want to work with you, but you too expensive.
Yeah,
let's not do it.
Right.
But this year it's different, dog. I have a price. Client reach out. I'm like, this is where I'm at. Sometimes I even throw on an extra. Just
as you should. As you
should.
No, as you should.
Well, first of all, people don't understand the structure of being. You could be a freelancer and
right.
be an artist freelancer.
Yeah.
But I'm a freelancer with a business.
Exactly.
So
it's different.
I pay personal and business tax.
Yep.
So everybody gotta get the cut, regardless of what I'm charging the client.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam gotta get his 30,
cut. He got
30%.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless of what the number is, you if you're approaching it as a business,
yeah,
you gotta break it down in those tiers where you're like, okay, this percentage is tax, this percentage is profit, this percentage is work
for the business.
So you gotta chop it up that way. And
true.
At the summary of it, you'll get more of an understanding of how, what value you're giving to the client. But nowadays, like my pricing is different because people reach out to me and I'm like, yeah, this is my price. And they're like, yeah, I can't work with that, but I'm gonna get the money together and I'll come
make
back.
it happen.
Or they'll be like, I'm gonna talk to the manager. We're gonna expand the budget.
Make it happen.
And you do it's like crazy stuff. But now it's at the point where people actually make it happen.
Yeah, as they should.
But
as
the
they
number
should.
one is to set that value
True.
for yourself.
Definitely.
But like I said, bro, it's different now. But the hopes is to keep making it happen.
We live in a culture now, and it's sad because a lot of people.
Well, like let's go back a bit. You was talking about resume. I want to know what your resume like. Where your clientele like? What you stacking? I mean, you've been doing some things. You've been doing some things.
His name Dre.
Bro, like, come on, like at this point, like it's just like it's
I think
just,
you own headphones.
bro. At this,
I may be
yo,
wrong.
at this point, like it's just crazy. Like the clients that'll knock on your door, like
Right.
like I had a meeting 2 days ago with some representatives from SEPTA, some representatives from a few different businesses, and it's just like,
How far are we in? You can keep talking.
oh yeah, it's just crazy. Like my name is not even like that, but my name is ringing bells in so many arenas right now, like so many different
As
realms.
it should, bro. You've put in the work.
Thank you, bro. It's just crazy, like and everything is like everything. I did the legwork in the beginning where you do that like internship, doing it for free, doing it for free, doing it free.
Yep.
So where it's like now everything that I do is like coming with like a great check, and it's not like I got family to feed. I really do. Like I really take care of my family and myself. So it's just like I can't play around with.
Nah.
Could you
Never.
It's like no, like because whatever I'm gonna bring to you is gonna bring you value. At this point, it's like the name will bring you value. The work that I'm putting behind it will bring you value. What am I getting out of it? Like at this point, and if it's somebody I can work with where it's mutual, I understand. But at this point, it's just like the numbers that people put up before they even get to talk to me is just so respectful. So respectful. And it's just beautiful. So these meetings are dope, and it's just like the monthly network is really just getting to where it should be. At the age that I'm at, like I'm in no rush, nor am I putting expectation on where I should be.
Like we
but
started this, balling in our own lanes, man. Like
it's crazy.
The pace, the vehicle, it's
all
all up to you.
So it's just like, and the one thing that I truly appreciate is just like I do what I want to do like every day. Like it's nobody could tell me what to do. Like it's just
like
not.
I can't tell you what the feeling is when I wake up and I'm in my studio. Like it's unreal every day.
It's crazy. It's a luxury that I don't take for granted.
Yeah, it's so much work though.
Yeah.
But like to your point, like you were saying with the legwork that you put in and the internships and all of that. I had done like I think 6 or so internships when I was in college.
Yeah.
So those stuff add up after college.
Come on.
And people be well, not like people. I would say like older people and some younger people as well. They usually throw in the ageism thing in there, just But for me, my thing is number one. You gotta get my money right. You can say whatever
you want to say,
as long as my paper right. I don't care if I'm a toddler. I'm an OS person to you. Mm-hmm. If those zeros are right, we gonna work.
Then we good.
But my thing is, started the year. I had a client who was trying to bring me on to like this sports related thing that was a bit of a big deal, and they had done the one the year before, and that had gone crazy. And the product they was putting out. They had put about, I want to say, I think he said 15 or 20,000 on the first drop, and it sold out in 10 minutes.
Oh my God!
And they put out another one, and so the part 2, they were coming around with a much bigger and much better artist, as in moi.
As they should. As they should.
So I get there and we chatting and I'm like, at first I'm like, this is what I would like to pay hourly on this project.
Right.
I estimated the amount of hours. So I'm like, it's my hourly. And dude's like, yeah, we could get it done. I'm gonna go to bat for you. And then he comes back with basically half of what my hourly was.
Oh,
I was
real?
like, that's a nice going to bat for me. But and so like immediately I didn't get my hourly and it got slashed. But then after they sent me the contract, they were talking about like ownerships and owning my work in propriety, and I'm like, yeah, we ain't gonna do that.
Right.
If for people who's watching don't know about ownership,
it's important.
It's basically if you have a client or anyone that owns your work, it's just basically they own it for the rest of their lives, and there ain't much you could do about it as an artist. So if you're gonna go down that route, make sure they're actually buying it from you and actually paying 3 times over, because you never know what they're gonna do with it in the future,
and how much money is gonna make
exactly. But anyway, so to go back to the story, second drop, we don't go over the details and stuff, and I get the contract. And I'm like, yeah, I'm excited to work. And so I get the contract. You know, already they've curved my money, but I'm like, you know, this is a big client.
Yeah.
As far as me working with them,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a
It's gonna be a thing.
It's gonna be huge for me. So, and I don't normally do that. So I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, we gonna curve a little bit, and we gonna work.
Yep.
And then I'm reading the contract, and they're talking about owning my stuff in perpetuity and throughout the universe. And I'm like, at best, I probably got 60 years. And that's speaking as a all around human.
Right.
Throwing a black human.
Right.
Hey, come on now. So I don't know about throughout the universe.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna be making a lot of paper.
Uh-huh.
Because people that look like me, and they're going at 21, 25.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, but you know, that's stuff I think about.
Yeah.
Anyway, I the one thing I always do, I always get I always try to skip the middleman. And I get the
Get
owners.
straight to, yeah.
So like the firm, I had the owner number. It was like 930, whatever I'm reading. Hit him up right away. I'm like, yo, what's good?
Right at him.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm looking at the contract at the moment. We're supposed to jump on this next Tuesday, but I'm not really in agreement with all of this.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yeah, but we already sat down and talked. I'm like, yeah, I already sat down and talked with you, but as far as, you know, one, I was not on board with the numbers, and then two, the ownership, I'm definitely not on board with. So if you guys want to give me what I asked for, then
That's different.
ownership is all yours.
Right.
But he was like, yeah, you know, we can't really set a different price because the price already been set. But what he said to me that really messed me up was he was like, after I had told him all of my reason in a, you know, we're a professional, respectful way, he goes, well, you know, hear me out a minute. You're a young man in this game.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, immediately, I didn't listen to any other words that came after that. I can't tell you what he said after that, honestly. But yeah, just a backstory. And then immediately I was like, dude, I have been freelancing for the last 4 years.
Exactly.
You know, like this shit literally put me through college, and I pay all my college bills and shit. Not like tuition, but all the other shit that came with that.
Of course.
And you know, and I learned the process of working with clients, and that's why I'm working with you right now. There's not no chance. So yeah, definitely that threw me off, and I didn't work with him. And then, you know, since then, and he was like, so I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna work with you after that statement. But he was like, yeah, now I gotta scramble to find another designer.
That's your fault.
I'm like, that's your fault, bro. Like,
I don't have nothing to do with that at all.
Yeah, but you know, but stuff like that, you know, those were a couple, you know, thousands of dollars that was coming my way. But sometimes you gotta
keep your integrity.
Yeah, exactly.
Keep your integrity.
It'll pay off in the long run. But to wrap up, you know, when you're staying in your own lane and doing your thing,
no need to compete.
You are going to attract what is rightfully yours. So I encourage you to, you know, stay in your own lane and do you.
I feel you, bro, 100%. And I just back that 100%. And go back to one of our previous podcasts. Take some time alone, like, and really find out what your morals are, your standards are, and don't lower them. If anything, raise them, but don't lower them at all. Because like, you can't be out here shapeless. You have to have a shape. You can't fold. You can't be bendable. You can't break. Like, stand on something or fall for anything. Very cliche statement, but it's very true.
Yeah, it's funny because all the true statements are cliches. But it's funny because people tell a lot of lies.
Oh yeah.
So
always.
That means all the lies are cliches. But no one says that shit though.
They don't.
No
bro.
one says anything about any of the lies. But we're gonna wrap up. Dumb, Naked, and Broke.
Dumb, Naked, and Broke.
Like, share, and subscribe. Catch y'all next whenever we're back.